Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So what I'm going to be doing today is actually a suggestion from one of you guys. It's going to be 10 things that WWE wants you to forget about Survivor Series. I feel like this is a really appropriate suggestion, especially given that Survivor Series is literally right around the corner. So let's go ahead and take a look, but before we do, just remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Maybe leave a comment of what you'd like to see next and give the video a thumbs up. Alright, let's take a look.
Hooray! Survivor Series is soon. That means we're sliding into the frosty abyss of winter and the end of the year, and the nights are getting longer and colder, and 2016 has been so unremittingly awful on a global scale that maybe 2017 just won't come. Maybe the year will pitch into the void, will be
Well,
left
2017 wasn't much better, so that's okay.
Eternal winter of death, cold as bone and washed with silence, deadly and forever. No more memories, nothing, just hollow.
2016 did suck.
I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 things WWE want you to forget about Survivor
Anyways.
Series. Number 10, its spiritual home is Richfield, Ohio. Look, no offense to all of our fans from Richfield, Ohio, but f*** you and your stupid town.
Yeah, what,
the
all
spiritual
28
home of
of them?
WrestleMania is Madison Square Garden, quite possibly the most vaunted sports arena in the world. SummerSlam was born in the exact same building, and Survivor Series was born in Richfield, Ohio. It's got a population of 5,000 people. Off Richfield. The building Survivor Series debuted in isn't even there anymore. They demolished it in 1999. It's a grassy field. This is nothing against the people of Ohio. They're lovely people, strong arms, noble spirit, good horses. But the people of Richfield, Ohio, how dare you be where Survivor Series was born? You are nothing. You are a fucking disgrace. Number 9, it was created to mess with WCW.
Really?
WWE and WCW used to be about as friendly as your mum and your Auntie Sandra. And you know your Auntie Sandra's a cow. She smashed up your dad's chippy. But since then, the two biggest wrestling companies of the 90s have since buried the hatchet. Well, WWE buried the hatchet in WCW's head. But at least there's no more Monday Night Wars, which might be why WWE would like you to forget that they created Survivor Series nearly solely to with WCW. See, the Southern Wrestling Company used to hold their annual Supercard Starcade around Thanksgiving, and that annoyed Vince. So in 1987, he created Survivor Series to run against it. On the same night, and as a further twist of the knife, told pay-per-view providers that if they aired Starcade, they would not be given WrestleMania 4 the next year. Most providers went with Vincent's Survivor Series, and Starcade was crushed. Dick move, Vincent. Number 8, the Gobbledygooker was a disaster. Survivor Series 1990 and the Egg hatched. The egg hatched, and then Eddie Guerrero's brother in a turkey suit came out and gobbled at Mean Gene Okerlund. The Gooker has sort of become a cult hero in recent years, maybe, just because it's all so unbelievably shit. But let's not forget that when it happened in 1990, people were pissed. The crowd hated it after weeks of build of what's going to hatch out of the egg, that the answer was the Gooker. And to be honest, what were they expecting? It was a giant egg.
Real.
Were they expecting Sting to come out of it? Out of the big egg? Still, the Gobbledygooker is widely regarded as one of the worst things the company ever did, even if it's hard to hate the sight of Mean Gene doing his best to talk to a turkey. Number 7, that clown thing. More heinous cartoon bollocks from early 90s WWF, this time from Survivor Series 1994. Jerry Lawler, in the first of 2 appearances on this list, was feuding with Doink the Clown, something about kings and jesters. Doesn't matter. So they booked a 4-on-4 Survivor Series match, the Royal Family versus Clowns R Us, with Lawler, 3 midget wrestlers called Sleazy, Queasy, and Cheesy. No, really, here they are. And with Doink, his sidekick, Dink, the scrappy duo of the WWF, and Pink, and Wink. What then happened was over 15 entire minutes of nonsense as the crowd clapped when the little people fell over like the little comedy props that they were.
Yeah.
Remember when Doink used to be cool, like an evil clown, like a properly evil clown?
No.
Number 6, Survivor Series 2015 was the shits.
Not
Just
in a good
the
way.
absolute shits. Number 5, it's been better attended than WrestleMania. Yep, Survivor Series in the past, despite these days definitely being the least important of the big 4 pay-per-views, has outdrawn WWE's so-called biggest event of the year, not just once, but on 3 separate occasions. In 1991, outdrawing WrestleMania 7 by nearly 1,500 fans. Then again in 1997 and 1998, with WrestleManias 13 and 14 playing to smaller houses than Survivor Series. Now sure, WWE are always going to be happy that events draw big, but WrestleMania is Vince's giant, muscly, oily, intimidating, fireworky baby. It's everything to him. And he's not exactly going to crow about the times it lost out to an event that's become so far down the priority ladder that he almost replaced it in 2010. Whoops, spoilers. Number 4, Vince almost Vince replaced it in
Why?
2010. Yep, even though it's the second oldest pay-per-view in WWE history, they nearly knocked it on the head for good. And this isn't a rumor either. Here's a quote from Vince McMahon from a February 2010 conference call. "We think that Survivor Series is obsolete," he went on to say. I'm not going to keep doing it. Survivor Series, yes, many years ago was one of the original 4 pay-per-views, but it's outlasted its usage and is one of the things in terms of rebranding this year and going forward that will be rebranded. No longer will we have that title, Survivor Series. Damn, that's cold, Vince. Look, I get it. Sometimes the love
Yeah, but
fades.
Survivor Series
Sometimes
is
you feel like
awesome.
you've grown apart. You need to spice things up, Vinny. You need to spice things up. Light some candles, pour some wine, and then fuck Survivor Series up against the side of a park bus in the middle of rush hour traffic at
Okay.
Castle Roundabout. What, we all have fantasies? Anyway, they got cold feet, decided to keep Survivor
Good.
Series, and it's still here, limping on to this day. Number 3, where did the Ultimate Warrior go? The Ultimate Maniacs were a short-lived duo comprised of the Ultimate Warrior and Randy Savage, both of whom were huge baby faces at the time. Basically, like the Mega Maniacs a few months later, WWF were trying to recreate the magic of the Mega Powers. Warrior and Savage were all set to take on the heel team of Ric Flair and
Oh
Razor
my
Ramon in the
God.
biggest match at Survivor Series 1992, and then, when we got there, no more Warrior.
Of
He was
course.
replaced with Mr. Perfect. Now, it was a good tag
Warrior
match
was a
and proved
dick.
Mr. Perfect could be a good babyface, but still, where the dick was the much advertised Ultimate Warrior? Of course, WWE didn't want to say what really happened. Warrior had missed the show because he was having contract disputes with WWE, and there were also rumors of him failing a steroid test, after which he was eventually fired. He was brought back 4 years later, and we never knew what happened to Warrior back on that pay-per-view. That's because WWE wants us to forget. Number 2, Vince saying the N-word.
Oh, yeah.
He sure
He
did.
did.
So remember how John Cena used to be a rapper, thugonomics and
Yeah.
black tits? Well, in 2005, right about when Cena had stopped doing that shtick, Vince approached the champ in a backstage segment and asked, "What's good in the hood?" White guy saying black people stuff. Always a great old time. Then he said, "Keep it up, my n***." Walked away, and Booker T was standing there with his wife, Charmel. Booker T turned to his
Seriously.
wife and delivered his catchphrase, "Tell me he didn't just say that. Tell me my white boss didn't just use the biggest racial slur on the planet literally in front of black people for comedy." Look, Vince is crazy, and for what it's worth, I don't think he's racist. I just think he's a clueless white billionaire who thought he was being lolsy
yeah.
and no one would care. But anyway, I don't think they're going to be replaying this as a classic Survivor Series moment. Do feel free to give me your hot take on the N-word in the comments, though, you faceless legends. That won't be at all tiresome. Number 1, Jerry Lawler's rape allegation.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what a lovely way to end things. Happy Thanksgiving. So one of the announced matches at Survivor Series 1993 featured a team led by Bret Hart teaming up with 3 of his brothers, Owen, Bruce, and Keith, against Jerry Lawler and his 3 knights, because he's a king. Those 3 knights were Greg the Hammer Valentine, famous jobber Barry Horowitz, and Jeff Gaylord. Ha 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 ha! It never happened though. Instead, Shawn Michaels took Jerry Lawler's place and wrestled with the 3 random knights, which didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
See, Lawler was removed because a 15-year-old girl accused Lawler of sexually assaulting her. Lawler was indicted for it. However, before the case could go any further, the girl admitted that she'd made up the whole thing. The popular theory about this story is that the girl was a plant by some wrestlers that didn't like Lawler and felt like he owed them money. However, a year later, Jerry Lawler was convicted of witness tampering as a result of this case, so, I mean,
Never knew
who
that.
really knows what the hell happened? Jerry Lawler returned to
Jeez.
WWE in early 1994, and his absence at Survivor Series 93 was never explained. And that's our list.
Okay, so yeah, some pretty extreme things happening at or around the time of Survivor Series. I mean, it still doesn't put a damper on the show. It's still one of my favorite pay-per-views of the entire year. I can't wait to see what's going to happen this year. And nonetheless, I want to thank you guys so much again for watching. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Maybe leave a comment. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Alright, bye.